In a divergence for the series, What If Aliens focuses on the Aliens franchise. Here, Burke is not immediately killed by the xenomorph, but is knocked out and placed in the hive to the impregnated. The explosion from Gorman and Vasquez kills the facehugger and frees him, and he stealthily sneaks aboard the dropship, also witnessing Ripley taking on the Queen. Once everyone is in stasis and is safe to emerge, he contacts the company to give an update. Since he failed his mission, Yutani refuses to dispatch a rescue, but knowing the danger Ripley potentially is, offers to save Burke if he makes sure all other survivors are dead. Burke still has some form of conscience, so instead loads them on an escape ship and ejects it towards a prison planet, then heads home. Years later, Burke continues his work, but the company pinned all the blame for the destruction of the colony on him and stuck him on a small mining asteroid where he's reviled by everyone, including his family. One day, a synthetic named Cygnus that Burke saved from the scrap heap returns after a long assignment, saying the mission was a success and showing Burke a xenomorph egg. He tries to reconnect with his daughter Bree, telling her things are going to change, but she wants nothing to do with him, while it's also revealed he has a wife in stasis with an incurable disease. Burke wants to use the xenomorph genes to get back in the company's good graces and formulate a cure for his wife, but needs to impregnate someone for it to mature. He interviews the staff to find the most expendable, but can't bring himself to inflict it on anyone. But a sleazy corporate representative named Hero arrives to fire him for multiple HR complaints, and Burke decides to use him. Hero begs for his life, revealing he's the least favorite son of Yutani and hates his father as much as Burke does, and he'll do anything to help. Thus, as the egg hatches, Burke last minute saves Hero, but can't stop the facehugger from crawling into the vents. The three run down to the mines where Bree works, and as Hero forms a friendship with her, Burke and Cygnus search for the alien. It nearly attaches to Burke, but Cygnus pulls it away and it scatters off, where it then attacks Bree and Hero, Bree barely managing to catch it in a loader arm. It escapes again, and the team search for it, Hero grabbing his own loader suit. They finally corner it, only for the elevator to open, and it finally attaches itself to Bree's supervisor Harold. Burke, considering this a success and still confident they can extract the embryo before it becomes a full chestburster. Hero and Bree have a scene together, bonding over how sucky their lives are, while Burke and Cygnus prepare to extract the embryo. Unfortunately, they didn't account for the kind of embryo, and it bursts out of Harold, a full-fledged queen, who slices Cygnus to shreds. Burke tries to get the remaining group off the asteroid, but can't risk the company finding out or killing Bree with her different air pressure, thus they're forced to suit up and stop the queen themselves. They track it into the warehouse, where it's already ensnared multiple workers and started its hive. They start their assault, only for Hero to betray them, saying bringing back a xenomorph queen might get him in his father's good graces. He knocks them out, and they wake up trapped in the hive, but luckily Bree burns them out with an emergency torch, escaping just as a multitude of xenomorphs emerge. Burke evacuates the offices, also revealing to Bree that her lungs can breathe Earth's atmosphere. He just told her otherwise so she wouldn't leave him. And he's been keeping her mother's status secret, who they both run to load her onto the escape ship, only to find her taken by Hero to be used as a host. And they inadvertently got most of the staff slaughtered, so Burke and Bree run to save the rest of them, Burke grabbing his rifle and Bree loading into a loader to take on the warriors. The queen reveals itself and the entire staff band together to take it down, Burke finally blowing off its head. The survivors load themselves into a mining freighter on a course for Earth, forging evidence that everything was the corporation's fault, and as the others get into stasis, Burke and Bree finally make amends and promise each other they'll make everything alright. This is really good, only held back by the fact we have to follow human garbage Burke. For some reason they changed him from someone not hesitant to kill the entire cast of aliens just to smuggle some eggs into a guy who says he won't kill if he doesn't have to, but he still for all intents and purposes killed Riley, and he's still fine with risking other people's lives for his own profit. Yeah, we're supposed to see him as a hero, but the story, pacing, and dialogue are good enough to keep me invested in the setting, and it feels like a story that actually needed 5 issues to tell. I had to leave a lot out of this video to make it a decent length, and I highly recommend you take a look for yourself. And with a little rewriting, it could work as a movie spin-off of the franchise. I mean, it couldn't be any worse than half the actual movies, am I right?